State of Affairs welcomes Debra Vizzi, who is President and CEO of the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, an absolutely terrific organization that does what?
Yeah, the largest anti-hunger, anti-poverty organization in the state. Yeah. And we feed millions of people.
Yeah, we're actually going to put the website up if people want to find out more and a way to be helpful. How serious is the hunger problem in the state of New Jersey? Then we'll talk about the United States.
It's large. There is hunger in every county in the state of New Jersey. And it's something that we really work on communicating with New Jerseyans, because I think people really think it's in pockets, but it's in every single county. We have a pantry, a shelter, a soup kitchen in every county in the state.
Yeah, by the way, there's a PSA public service awareness campaign that we have going on right now that tries to talk about what the issue is and what people can do. But I'm curious about this, the after-school cuts that are being proposed. Who's proposing the cuts? What impact would those cuts have on whom, and why does it matter?
It matters greatly. I mean, you know, for many of the food banks throughout the country.
These are federal cuts?
Yeah, federal cuts. You know, the after-school programs are pivotal for children to get healthy meals and to have regular meals throughout the week. You know, for the food bank, we always talk about the summer being the most vulnerable time for us. Most of our donations—
There's no school.
Exactly, and most of our donations happen during the holiday season from September to December. But now, as we're approaching summertime, this is really crisis time for us, because now breakfast and lunch is no longer available and children go hungry. We know this to be a fact. And not having after-school programs supplement meals is a real issue, and it's going to affect outcomes.
But Debra, not that you know what the Trump administration would be thinking, but if they would argue, hey, listen, let the states take care of that. That's not a federal responsibility, you say?
I say it is a responsibility of the government, because there are lots of things we can do without, but we cannot, as a country, go without eating. And children cannot go without eating. And so it's all of our responsibilities as good neighbors. I mean, most of our attention has been overseas on these issues. And we're having this problem in our country, in our state, in our communities. And we need to pay attention to that first.
Let's talk about some issues or some efforts going on in New Jersey. Assemblyman Holly is engaged in a piece of legislation. Sometimes we put up on State of Affairs the number of the bill. Check it out. It's A4499. Check it out. But what does it do and why does it matter? Because there's a population that's really being hurt right here.
Right. I mean, you know, Assemblyman Holly and I discussed the fact that students right now are growing hungry in colleges throughout the country, and particularly in New Jersey, at record numbers. And I was a hungry child and a hungry college student as well. And so we introduced legislation. If there are leftover dollars on a meal plan, students can help other students by using either leftover dollars or dollars that they're purchasing initially to feed a hungry child.
Can't do it right now?
Cannot do it right now.
Hold on one second. I've got $40 left on my meal plan. I'm at Rutgers or wherever I am, right? Right now, by law, I can't take it and say, Debra, here.
Correct.
Legislation has to be passed, both houses of the legislature, signed by the governor into law to change that?
That's right. And it seems like it would just be such a wonderful thing for us to do. It just makes common sense. It's logical.
It's also charitable.
It is charitable. And if we could get one student to just give one meal, we could, you know, expand our presence in pantries in colleges. We could expand our network around certain counties that help students, et cetera. So it's just a win-win.
Talk to us about this. There are some different initiatives at the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. By the way, check out the site. Some terrific things going on there. Kids Cafe. What is it?
What we do is we feed dinner to children every single night. Thousands of children throughout the state get a meal from us that is provided by the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, which is a wonderful thing. Kids go to after-school programs and don't have dinner, or are waiting for their parents to pick them up at 6 o'clock. We feed them while they're waiting. For
those of us who have been to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, it's an extraordinary facility, and there's so many volunteers that help out year-round.
Yeah.
If it were not in place, it's hard to imagine what would happen to all these people who need food who are food insecure, if you will. But also there are mobile pantries. What are they?
They're literally exactly what they are. They're mobile. They're,
Where do they go?
vans, and they go to different communities all over the state. We have a mobile pantry down in the southern part of the state that literally hundreds of people line up for. Seniors, families.
What do you mean
coming.
line up for, Deborah?
They basically line up to a mobile unit, sort of like a camper, and they line up and they get food. And they do this on a regular basis. And we do that all over the state. It's an important piece for folks, particularly seniors, that can't necessarily get very far.
Right.
They may not necessarily be able to get to a soup kitchen or to a pantry.
Yeah. The other thing that we did a feature on our other sister series, One-on-One, on the Food Service Training Academy, this culinary initiative, which is fabulous. Real quick on that.
It's wonderful. It's a way of doing job training. We provide a 16-week curriculum to help people learn a culinary skill and then get a job. It's just a wonderful program. And the 360 of it is while the students are preparing, they're preparing meals for the Kids Cafe.
A couple questions before I let you out of here. I've asked you this before with my colleague Rafael Piramano. I'm going to ask you again. If people truly cared, if people wanted to make a difference, and I believe we do in our hearts, we don't sometimes know how, what could they do right now?
I think 3 things. Volunteer at the food bank, certainly. Start a food donation drive in your community, or if it's your child's birthday, ask people to bring meals or give a donation to the food bank. And then lastly, and more importantly, give money to the food bank. Our leveraging power, our purchasing power, and our ability to get more is just very different. We can buy things in bulk, sort them out, and get them out differently than a regular consumer can, because as you know, we're the size of 5 football fields.
Finally, it's hard to imagine what families are dealing with, and you know this personally.
Yes, I do.
I'm not going to ask you to go into it right now, but I remember you talked to us about
Right.
that. People cannot imagine what it's like to not have the food they need to live every day and to exist.
It's absolutely true. We do take it for granted. And, if you're just hungry for breakfast, you know what it feels like in a short period of time. Imagine that on a daily basis, day in and day out. And that's what's happening for the world.
Debra Vizzi is the president and chief executive officer of a terrific organization called the Community Food Bank in New Jersey, doing important work every day.
Thank you. It's
Thank you
my
very much.
pleasure. Thank you
Appreciate it.
so much.